It was a little past midnight when Ethan stirred awake in his bed. The room was cold, darker than usual, and silent, too silent. He rubbed his eyes, expecting to hear the hum of the TV in the living room, or the faint laughter of his sister, or even his mom talking on the phone. But nothing. The apartment was empty. That was when his phone buzzed. It lay beside him on the nightstand, screen glowing faintly in the shadows. His heart jumped when he saw the caller ID, Mom. Relieved, he swiped and answered quickly. But her voice on the other end made his blood run cold. "Ethan, where have you been? I've been calling. Twice." A strange man answered both times. "Even your brother tried, and the same man answered his call too." Ethan froze. His eyes darted around his dimly lit room. What are you talking about, Mom? I'm at home. In my room. I haven't answered." But she cut him off. "Ethan, listen to me. Someone else is in the apartment." His chest tightened. His pulse hammered. He pulled the phone away from his ear, staring at the screen as though it might explain the impossible. A strange man answering his phone. How? Why? Swallowing hard, Ethan rose to his feet. He moved cautiously through his room, phone clutched in his hand like a weapon. Each step creaked louder than it should have. The silence of the apartment pressed in on him, heavy, suffocating. He checked his sister's room, empty. His brother's bed, untouched. The kitchen, silent, lifeless. His breathing grew shallow. He kept telling himself it was just a bad dream, but every detail felt real. And then he reached the main door. He froze. Through the crack, dimly lit by the hallway bulb, a pair of eyes glared back at him. Wide, unblinking, and disturbingly still. A man stood outside, an old man. His face was pale, lined with deep wrinkles, a faint hearing aid clinging to his ear. He didn't move, didn't blink. He just stared. Ethan stumbled back, his heartbeat roaring in his ears. The man's face looked familiar somehow, but his mind couldn't place it. The more he tried to remember, the colder he felt. Minutes passed. Or maybe seconds. Time had lost its meaning. A sudden noise snapped him out of his trance, the buzzer at the door. Ethan jumped. Slowly, he peered through the peephole. A deliveryman stood there, holding a package. Relieved but desperate, Ethan opened the door just enough for the deliveryman to see his face. Without speaking, Ethan's eyes darted toward the shadow behind him. The deliveryman followed his gaze, and froze. His eyes widened at the sight of the old man still standing there, still staring. Then, without warning, the old man bolted. Ethan reacted instinctively. He flung the door wide and charged, slamming into the man with all his weight. They both hit the cold hallway floor. The old man struggled weakly, but Ethan's fear gave him strength. He pinned him down, fists shaking. As the men went limp, Ethan's eyes caught something in his coat pocket. A wallet. He yanked it out, trembling as he opened it. Inside was an identity card. And a name. A name Ethan knew. The realization made his stomach twist. The name was connected to his past, faint memories, whispers he had long buried. And now it stared back at him from the ID. Before he could make sense of it, everything went black. When he opened his eyes, he was back in bed. Sweating, gasping. His phone buzzed beside him again. This time, no call, just the clock glowing in the dark. He let out a shaky breath. It was just a dream. Just a dream. He forced himself up, walked the apartment again. Empty, yes, but real this time. Relief washed over him. He almost laughed at himself for panicking. But then he stopped. The front door was still slightly ajar. And in the crack of the door, the same old man stood there, staring in with glowing eyes and that same silent hearing aid. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. Because dreams end when you wake up. But nightmares sometimes follow you.